All right. Well, tonight we got
Gotta love it when a guy wears a basketball hat to a baseball podcast.
Yeah, well,
baseball, basketball, same difference. Remember
Even the
the skit I wrote, the Joker, right before he beat up Robin Ventura. Robin.
oh, Nolan Ryan, that guy.
I had this Friday ticker skit with the Batman and Robin and the Joker, Nikola Jokic and Ron Say. Anybody
Oh,
else?
is the Penguin?
Oh, yeah, Ron Say's the Penguin and the Joker. I guess that was it. I thought there was one more, but I guess that was enough.
Well, who would be the Riddler?
JT Riddle.
There you go.
What's up, Mike?
So Caglianone is coming up. They already took the NA designation off of him, so I got to figure out some guys to drop. And I had Jacob Melton come up too.
Yeah, he's intriguing. Paglione. He's got
So much that Phil was asking for a trade about 2 weeks ago.
he's got an insane hard hit rate, and he's got a 30% strikeout rate down in the minors, which probably won't improve in the majors. So
Probably
it'll be
not,
interesting to
but
see what happens.
when he hits the ball, it goes.
He's gonna be
yeah,
good. I just don't know if it'll be right away or not.
Wasn't
I was
it
reading
interesting
yesterday.
this last? Okay, go ahead, Mike. I'm sorry.
His chase rate is something ridiculous.
He chases out of the zone too.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez. Well, I guess that's what chase means, right?
Um, Interesting week. The top three teams got the bottom three scores.
Oh, that's
Don't
right. I
see
was.
that happen too often.
Yeah. Well, that was nice, right? The bottom teams went like 2-4 to 3-3, 4-2. Mike
Yeah,
went 6-0.
Bizzotti got the 0-6, and then Holy Cows and Capital Knockers got the 1-5, and they were 1, 2, and 3.
It's nice when that happens.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
we're,
good for a change.
we're jumbled up.
The interesting thing also too is that 9 teams in this league have a record over 500, and 4 do not.
Am I over or am I? I guess I must be.
You're tied with me, man. We're 29 and 28.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
So we're in eighth and ninth place.
So we're
And then,
skewed.
We're
yeah.
like the AL Central here.
Oh,
You had somebody going. Oh, you have Aldi, right?
Yeah, he went on the IL.
Who has Burns? Is Kimmler have Burns?
Himmler does. He had Burns and Smith Shawver
Oh wow.
because I
who
was
has
trying to
them?
make Kimmler.
Yeah, well, sounds like Burns is going to have to get Tommy John.
It doesn't sound good.
No,
Only the Orioles would be happy about that one. They'd be like,
well,
take some of the heat off.
maybe if he was still with the Orioles, maybe his elbow doesn't blow out.
He was a
Maybe he's
strange.
trying to overpower those hitters so they can't hit it out of left field.
You could see just even his basic stats, like he wasn't as good. He was still good last year. He had a good year, but it was a troubling trend anyway. Not that predicted the arm trouble, but I just mean like just his effectiveness was definitely on the downward trend. Hmm.
Yeah, I dodged a bullet. I was trying to make a trade with John and for a pitcher, and then Burns got hurt, and Smith Shawver got hurt. And those were some of the guys I was looking at. So
Yeah. Well, I put
He had a
Cease
pretty good
on
week besides it.
I put Cease on the trading block because I didn't want to drop Dean Kramer. He was like my last rated pitcher, but Brandon Fott has now dipped below Kramer. So if I drop somebody, it would be Fott. So I don't feel so bad about dropping Fott. I guess I don't know, but because I'm anticipating Gilbert coming back. So
Those
Yeah,
are
I've
some
lost
players.
Ronell Blanco to Tommy John. I lost Hayden Wisniewski to Tommy John. So there's two Houston guys that got Tommy John surgery. I don't know what their pitching coach over there must be stressing their arms out or something. There's something going on because man, I tell you what, Tommy John left and right with the pitchers over in Houston.
Are we going to say, Mike? Do you remember? Just
Yeah, but I was thinking Houston, like Valdez has been pretty consistent for a while. McCullers got hurt. It seems like it's a little bit of a history with them.
Yeah.
the Colors is back. I have him in a different league, and he's not done that great so far. But he did have 12 strikeouts last outing, so maybe that's good. And Framber's amazing, right? Didn't he have a complete game? It was a complete game with 83 pitches.
Seems like he does that like twice a year.
Yeah, he's got this insane ground ball rate. And I don't know if I ever respected him enough because I didn't really look at ground ball rate. Just when I glance at stuff, I look at KBB. And if you just look at K minus BB, you're not going to respect Valdez enough, you know? Like his ground ball rate was like 60%, I think, last year. It was like nuts. I mean, average is like 42, something like that. So got to look at that too, because that's it's a home run suppression stat. That's why it's important.
Yeah, I think that goes underrated, but hmm, he seems a little special too, right? There's not that many guys who throw that hard curve, and so like it's great, but I suspect there's a lot of high ground ball rate guys who also have high ERAs or also give up homers.
Yeah, well, I mean, if they have a really bad spread, the K minus BB spread, but like even like David Peterson, who's not in Framber's class, but as a Mets fan, I probably wasn't respecting him. I definitely wasn't for even when he had the good year last year. I wasn't counting on it because I've seen it before. I've seen guys have one good year. Like who was that guy? Robert Gesellman. I remember the
On the
idiot.
Mets,
Yeah, the idiot on the Mets pre and post game, Gary Apple. I guess he's a decent host, but I don't want to hear his insights in the game because he has none. And he picked Gesellman was his pick for rookie of the year coming in because I guess he still had rookie status after that good year. And I was like, oh my god, this guy's a moron. He wasn't even on the team a year later.
Yeah. I don't even think he's in the league anymore, is he?
I don't know if he's in the Far East or something, but I haven't heard anything from him. But yeah, the ground ball percentage is a real key stat. I mean, I don't know if you're in a bad ballpark, especially, right? Bad pitcher's park. I know. I'm not unearthing any intel that the front offices don't already know. But for me personally, I just discovered it. I don't know. I mean, I guess I knew. I was like, yeah. But then I really dug into it. I was like, oh my god, yeah, I've been shortchanging these guys. You know, and I guess vice versa, right? A guy that has a really low rate, he's got a 35% ground ball rate, and man, he better be striking out the world because that's not going to work too well either.
Garrett Cole had a low one, I think, relying on strikeouts and fly balls and just hoping they stayed in the yard.
Yeah,
I think it was Cole. It might have been one of those New York pitchers from a few years ago.
yeah. Well, that's like when Stroman went to the Yankees. I thought that was I thought that was going to work out really well. But I guess he just aged before he could be effective there. But because that's the only thing he does really well, right? I mean, he's a ground ball pitcher. He's not, you know,
Yeah.
much else.
How about them Rockies, huh? Still sitting at 9 wins.
Jesus.
Worst, fastest to 50 since the 1884 Kansas City Unions.
I don't even remember those guys.
Yeah. And yet I have two Rockies on my team.
I think it's my experience following the late 70s Mets where I before the year would start, I'd like be okay with the team. I was like, yeah, I think I think they're pretty good. Doug Flynn is solid at second. I mean, he's a great fielder. Of course, he was one of the worst hitters ever. And but I would like go around Joel Youngblood, Steve Henry. Yeah. We're gonna be all right. And I do the same thing this year. I'm looking at like the Orioles team, and I'm like, they look that looks like a good team to me, or the Reds or the Rockies. Even I was looking at the Rockies, I was like, I don't know, they don't look that bad to me. I mean, like not like they won't finish in last in that division, but 9-50, that's just incredible.
See that Cal Raleigh is leading the entire league in home runs now with 23.
You hit one tonight?
He won yesterday.
Oh, yeah, maybe that was it.
Even more impressive in that park.
Yeah, that park
Dude's got
hasn't
big power.
that park hasn't played so far this year as the worst hitters park, and I don't think they've changed anything. So I think that's just a fluke. But usually, it has been 30th out of 30, and this year it's like I don't know. Last time I looked, well, I do have it up. I didn't look at it, but it's like maybe around the mid 20s or something. Little improvement anyway. I
Well,
mean,
having all the Mariners having all their good starters being out doesn't help.
yeah, it shouldn't affect it. I mean, in the short term, it will, but in the long term, like the strength of your hitters or pitchers isn't going to affect the ballpark factor because you're just comparing yourself and your opponents combined at home and then combined away. So in the long run, and in the short run, 2 months is not a good idea to be looking at the ballpark factors. I only do it because of those new parks, the Tampa Bay Park and the Oakland Park, which before the year started, I tried to anticipate what those ballpark ratings would be, and I think I was like at 102 for Tampa, and that's where it's at. But I was way off with the Ace Park because I did look at the River Cats ballpark factors, so I used those, but I wasn't able to find anything that would have what the league equivalent to the majors was. So if it was a hitters league, then I would have, which it must be. I underestimated the ballpark factor by a lot because it's number one right now as it stands. It's even more than Colorado.
It's a massive hitters league out there because a bunch of those teams are um, sort of elevation desert teams.
Yeah,
It was one of the lower. It was one of the more pitcher friendly parks in that league, but that's not saying much.
that's what I went off of. I figured it out, and I was like, oh, see, I think people are going to overestimate the A's hitters based on this park, and maybe I can swoop in and get some A's pitchers. But so it was a fail. It was an analytic fail. But it's
I
just
ran.
because I didn't have that info. If I had it, I would have used it. I just couldn't find it.
Speaking of ace pitchers, I ran JP Sears out there this week. I don't think I'll be throwing him again, but he didn't get me negative, but I don't remember the matchup. It was just
You might as well hang on to him because you might not get him back if he starts pitching good.
he's
You never know.
he's not going to start pitching good. I'm pretty confident in that.
How many minus points did he get? Like as far as like how many games has he gone negative? You look at his history.
Hold on, I've got it right here.
Well, I had Brandon Fat go on Sunday.
I
No
mean, you
innings,
being
no innings, eight
minus
runs.
you being minus like 80 innings or 70, whatever the fuck it is, man. That's it's gonna take a while to catch that back, man.
Are you talking about Mike?
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I still don't want to try and catch it back with JP Sears.
Right. It's a hard call, but if you can successfully do that, it doesn't have to be all in 1 month, but in the next 4 months you catch up in innings, and even if your ERA goes up, which I imagine it will, you'll still be sitting pretty. Because even the worst pitchers over the long run get you like 2 points an inning. So that's 140. Or did you say you're 70 under? So that's 140
Uh,
points. And I think it's around 28 points per win on average and so far in the league. So like that's only like about 5 wins, you know.
I'm looking at it now. I'm currently 81 under, and
Yeah.
JP Sears. I don't know. I think I dropped him already. I must have dropped him today. I actually don't think he's a terrible pitcher in real life. I just have no interest in anyone who's going to play half their games in that park,
I'm in
especially a homer prone lefty.
I'm in a 12 team AL roto, so we go really deep in the pitching. So I know all those pitchers. Hogland, and I picked up JT Ginn, and then he got hurt, and then he came back, and he got hurt again. I was like, Jesus Christ, I picked the wrong one. And then a couple weeks ago, I wanted to pick up Jacob Lopez because he had one good start, and I had a choice of him or Adrian Hauser. Those are the only two guys that were going to start that week that were available in the league. Hauser is my second choice, and I got Hauser, and he actually had a good outing, and that Jacob Lopez got rocked. So sometimes it's better be lucky, right?
Yep. You want to show the what we did this week?
Yeah, I guess the good thing about those veteran pitchers, if you're in a league where the transactions cost $5, which is what they do in that league, is veteran pitchers, they're just going to release them. They're not going to send them down. So, like a guy like Lopez, they could just send him down and bring up another young guy. I don't think he's ever been up before. Maybe I'm wrong about that, but all right. Well, this is the week that was. And you can see Wait is our new Buddha King. So you deserve an extra win according to the points. The Gags are the lucky laggards, almost 2 wins to the lucky side. Let's see where else we got here. Yeah, here's Wait minus 80 on the innings. And Spear was weekend warrior, and the Gags were straw spinners.
Well, Rudy's got that many games that he hasn't played people in.
Yeah, he's 70 games under.
Oh,
So that's about the same deal. I think it's the worst hitting team is like 2.2. So that's probably in the same boat, around, maybe 4 or 5 wins under, just based on the games underage. So predicted top 4 had a lot of shakeup. Cows are predicted to win, and wait till next year. Went from predicted 4th to 2nd now. Let's Play stayed at 3rd, and then our old friend Paging Dr. Satchel creeps up into the top 4 for the first time since like the first full week of the season. This is something I don't know if we've seen before. I'm not sure, but you had 4 players of the week, 4 of the 7, so that was pretty impressive. So Junior Caminero, Jeremy Pena, James Wood, and Hunter Brown.
Caminero leads the league in hitting into double plays. He's got 16 so far.
Is he slow?
I think he probably is.
He must be, right? Can't be
I think
fast.
if you hit into 16 double plays, there's not a question. You're just slow.
My nickname for Junior Caminero is Little Cameraman.
Well, he's got to hit because I hear his defense isn't so great either, right? So he'll be like
James Wood has been way better than expected.
Yeah,
I mean, at least
Yeah.
I liked him. Based on last year, I just thought that I don't have very high confidence in my ability to predict who's going to be good, the young guys. But I was like, God, if he's not good, I don't know. I can't see it. I could see that maybe he wasn't going to be the best player in Major League Baseball, but I was like, I can't see how he's going to like suck and get sent down. And I just don't see it. He's too good, with his eye and everything, and he's got power. I don't know. I guess those are the two things. I guess I should look at contact rate and things like that. But I just look at, like, if you can walk and you have power, then I like you. So all the other stuff we can figure out together. So. But yeah, Cal Raleigh, many time cow of the week. Zach Littell for hack. This was a pain in the ass. They kept spelling correcting me when I put in Littell. It kept going to Little. I was like, God, I have enough problems making typos on my own without like you correcting me into one. So finally I had to put like a space, and then I did it, and then it didn't correct it. And then I got rid of the space and it stayed. Anyways, that was exciting, I know. Edwin Diaz for McBride's relief pitcher of the week, and Diaz is looking good. I don't know. He's starting to look more like he did, a couple years ago. Well, I guess that was now 3 years ago, right?
He also played the Rockies over the weekend.
Yeah, it's true. But I mean, just like look, but even so, like with him, like it seems like half the battle is just his confidence. He's not a, I don't know what the word is, like an audacious guy. He gets real humbled, and I don't think you want your closer to be like that. Like especially him. He should. I don't know. He should. You know, have more of the
Well, I'm
close.
glad I picked up Daniel Palencia.
Yeah,
That
you
guy's
did.
been money. He's the guy who kind of took over the closer role for the Cubs.
Yeah, yeah. They were talking about him. I think in those national leagues that Phil is in one, and maybe Chris is doing one. I'm not sure. The NFBC. Do you
Mm.
do any of those, Mike?
No,
No.
no.
Yeah, I haven't done it, but they talk about it in these podcasts. There's podcasts that are just geared to the NFBC people because there's a lot of them, and they were talking about the fab budget, and that was a real hot commodity. Palencia this week. Well, here's the standing. So cows are in first. Zadi held on a second, but here's wait till next year, 6-0. Now just 3 games back. Then Let's Play and Satch are 4 back. Knockers went down to 6.5 back. Well, really, they stayed 6.5 back, but everybody, these guys, yeah, Satch moved past him. Let's Play, and of course, wait.
I mean, look at how close the total points are at the top.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
nice. I mean, we've had years, many years, really, where somebody runs away with it. Even by maybe not by quite this time of the year, but by the end of this month, it's like, oh boy, you know, it's like almost decided. But this one is like crazy. I really don't know what's going to happen, so it's good. I mean, certainly anybody in the top six could win it, and like Spear and Dads are only 8 and 9 back, so I don't know. Anything is up there still. How have you
Yeah, I
done
mean,
lately? Go ahead.
top nine, really.
What is it?
Top nine are all in it, really.
Yeah,
I mean, one 6-0 week from somebody nine back, and they're right in that five range.
yeah. So you and Satch are 9 and 3 over the last two. Go back 3, and it's you and Cows 13 and 5. Oop. All right, go back 4. It's Cows and Play at 16 and nope, nope, nope. Satch 17 and 7. So yeah, he's been making a move.
Burning through those pitcher innings, too.
Yeah, well that will be reflected in that prediction model, and it still likes him to to finish fourth.
Keep talking. I'll be back in a minute.
Well, we'll just look at Waite's team here. Probably won't learn anything you don't already know. But your hitting points per game is decent, 2.9. And then your non-save hole pitching points, you're at 3, which is just head and shoulders above everybody else. I mean, the next highest team is rounded to a 2.6. There's a few of those, but that's real. That's real dumb. See, this is where you totally excel is per inning pitched, right?
Oh, yeah.
But
But I mean, having Skeens, Reagans, Eovaldi, Pavetta, Brown, I mean, you said it a few weeks ago. At one point, I had like 4 or 5 of the top 8 or something.
yeah, I think it's still like that.
I'm a little surprised how well I'm doing hitting wise because uh, there's some holes, especially in the outfield.
Yeah. Well, we all, at least I do. At least I have some. Uh, let's see your bullpen points. Save hold points are. Oh, this is alphabetical, yeah. So yeah, you're doing really well with that. You're in the top 4. Looks like top. Yeah, tied for 4th, tied for 3rd. I mean,
And that's what I way overpaid for Devin Williams, who immediately lost his job.
Wow, that's impressive because if he comes back as the closer, then you'll be if you still have him. I don't know.
I still have him, yeah.
Yeah.
I assume he gets it back at some point, but
Yeah, for the week we can see you were fifth in OPS, so that wasn't why it happened, but you were second in ERA. Is this you? 2.38.
I'm on the
Yeah,
bottom.
you're
Yeah.
up. 2.38 was second. Who was first? Oh, I remember this now. But it was Rudy. Rudy was 2.17. But yeah, 2.38. Your FIP was number one, 2.68. I finally corrected the FIPS so that they automatically equal the ERA for the league now. So that's good. I was using last year's constant. When they have the FIP, there's a constant that you have to add to the home runs and the walks and the strikeouts. So it can be off a little bit. So yeah, I think this is based on just the formula. So FIP would be 3.96. So then I just get it down to 3.69. Just divide, this one by this one. But anyways, and then for the year, put weight under the microscope. So your OPS is ninth. It's not good. It's not a complete disaster. But this is the amazing part. The number one in ERA, FIP, my linear weights runs per game stat. I don't know what this is, but it's just a first in WHIP, first in K9, all this stuff. You're number one. That's amazing to have a 2.56 team ERA for the year. That's just like, I don't think I've had a week where I've come close to that. I don't even know if I've had a week where my team ERA was under 3. I bet you I haven't. So that's amazing. But yeah, that's going to be the challenge for you, right? Keep close to that relative production. Obviously, it's got to go up, but get your innings, find that balance somehow.
Yeah, and I mean, I told you the other day. I mean, I'm concerned about the hitting. Uh,
Yeah, and if you trade away hitting to get another pitcher or something like that, then your OPS could drop too. So I don't know. It's a tough call.
yeah, I mean, I do have some. I'm at 741. Well, nobody's OPS is really far and away.
Yeah, that's true.
And I'm seeing 761, 760. Well, there's a couple 770s in there. So
Yeah, McBride's is at 689. That's the lowest. Heck, 690. Yeah, what is it? The dads? No, Knocker 760. No, no, no. Here we go. Cow 774. Rudy's hitting well, 771. And they actually had a good pitching week this week. Their year ERA is good too. Judging by this, you wouldn't think Rudy would be. I think they're in last, right? But they have like they have a games underage. Yeah, they're 70 under a game, 61 under in innings. So that's where it is. But just on a per plate appearance per inning basis, yeah, they're looking all right. Certainly not last. All right. Well, I'll bring up something else here while Jeff's just gone. Let's see. Come on. Like frozen or something. All right, let's get in there. Come on. Oh, I don't know. Can't get in there. I don't want to launch the meeting. I already launched the meeting. I'm stuck. So yeah, damn it.
I was hoping Walker Jenkins would be up this year, and he got hurt early in the
He's Milwaukee,
Minnesota
Minnesota.
slugging corner outfielder, one of the top hitting prospects.
They got a lot of young guys. I mean, I know they have Wallner, who's not actually that young, I guess, for a rookie, but they had Keishel come up and he got hurt right away. So they were probably
Yeah,
counting on some of these guys.
I may have to start shopping Jenkins. I really need hitting because
Yeah, that's another way to do it too, is to
I mean I do have lots of prospects who are
make it this year for next year kind of trade. That's a good
fairly highly
idea.
ranked.
Yeah, because you should go for it because like you're right there. Yeah, there's teams that'll definitely give you something for this year for next year.
What's our trade deadline in this league?
It's like as late as it possible. So like it's like around August 20th or something, whatever the last one that was available in Yahoo.
Okay, so it doesn't match the major league deadline.
No, I like to still have a deadline because I feel like it creates some sort of urgency. But then I like to have it late because it's I don't know, it's maybe you have a chance on August 1st, and then by August 21st, you're like, oh no. So, and it's good to the closer you get to the end, teams can get desperate to make a deal because if you got a window to win it, you're gonna do all you can to do that. I know I have, and I haven't had 100% success rate doing that, but last year was not successful.
Was that Eugenio Suarez?
Yeah, I traded him right after he got hot, not thinking that it was just going to be probably a blip, but he's still good, even the following year. So, what are you going to do?
I still don't trust him.
I traded him for an upgrade at third with Jose Ramirez, and of course Eugenio was better than even Ramirez was down the stretch. I traded auction dollars. It was a terrible deal. Yeah, as long as you agree with the thought process at the time, I don't have too much problem with it. I mean, if I look back and go like, oh, see, I shouldn't have thought like that, but I still would have thought a player like that was just going to be hot for a little while and cool off. But
And that's sort of how I feel about the thought process. We were talking about young players, especially the prospects. Like, if I'm going to go in on prospects like I did last year, I want as many as I can get. Give me like 7 top prospects, and I hope that 3 turn out.
yeah. Well, that's what it usually is, right? I mean, I pick up guys with really late estimated time of arrivals. I've got guys that are like 2028 expect ETA, and of course things change, right? And then so you just drop them and pick up the next guy. For me, they're just lottery tickets. I'm never going to use them, but if I can get something, anything for them, even my backup corner infielder or something, anything is worth it because it's just all found money, right? It's just what the hell, I don't know anything about minor leaguers. I just whatever they tell me his future value is or whatever they do. I go, okay, that sounds good.
Well, they make it easy with the what is it, the 80-20 scale and the 60 future value and
Yeah,
all the
yeah.
numbers that really don't make any sense.
Well, those 20 to 80 scouting grades, yeah, I mean that's good, but not all highly skilled players are good players, and not
Right.
guys that are mediocre can be good players, mediocre skill wise. So I don't know, but I guess I like that future value one, even though it's probably based on those scouting grades anyway.
It is easier to understand overall.
Yeah, but 20 to 80, I don't even know why is it 20. I don't know, like because they would feel bad if they gave the guy a 0. I don't know.
If you're good enough to get graded, you at least deserve a 20.
They could at least start it at 10. Be like, hey, I got you rated as a 10. Oh, cool. Out of what? 70? Oh, oh, that's not so good. Oh man, I had my Statcast stuff to bring up, and I can't get in there. Well, it was just going to show that Sutter Park or whatever is number one.
Sorry about that, guys. I'm
That's all
taking a
right.
lot of ibuprofen, and sometimes my stomach gets a little fucked up.
I can't get into any of my other stuff, so I don't know.
You having a hard time getting into your stuff?
Yeah, I can't get in there. I think it's related to the problem I had getting into the Zoom meeting. It's just everything's just all frozen for me.
Well, that's what happens when you live out in the woods.
I'd get out, but then I'd have to like get back in everything. So I think I am out. I think I closed everything out.
I can see you.
No, just the stuff I had on, Statcast and the whatever I had. Oh well. Well, I could bring.
Well,
I forgot.
maybe on my end, I'll bring up the top players.
Yeah, yeah. Do that. I'm going to share this one more thing on the standings page. I forgot.
Okay.
I've been doing this since April. Uh, so this is comparing this year to last year at a similar, uh, as close to the same calendar as I could get. So you see 1,768 games this year. That's 2 games. That's 2 team games per game. So one game played is 2 of these. So compared to 1,782 last year. So pretty similar. So you can see home runs are up on a per plate appearance basis 5% over last year. Runs are about the same. Walks are up 3%. Strikeouts are down 2%. And then stolen base success percentage is the same. And the attempts is up 7%. So that was it, I guess. That was it.
Attempts being up is interesting. I know there's a couple teams like the Rays that have really run a lot. I wonder how much individual teams are driving that.
Starting to get back to small ball a little bit.
It seems weird that they wouldn't have done this last year or the year before when those rules first went into place. Maybe it just took them a while to. I don't know. It doesn't seem like things in baseball would happen that slowly. Like it would take them, a full year to, 2 years of those rules to increase their attempts. So I'm not sure, what that was due to. But the success rate is about the same as last year. And remember when it first in 2023 when they put those rules in, the league percentage was like getting like 80%. Might have finished the year like like 79.5%, something like that. So teams on defense or whatever have figured out something, what to do as far as cutting down some of those runners. I know the Mets catchers do a good job with that.
There's a vast difference in hit by pitches this year too. Did you see that? It's like a 50 of them.
Yeah, and I mean
54 less this year.
it is like 16 fewer games, but yeah, that's still down. So
Junior's trying to equalize those double plays, though.
Yeah.
yeah, even that's down a little bit. I mean, this is based on fewer games. What, 16? Is that right now? No, 18 fewer games. Oh God, I can't do the math. 14 fewer games. There we go. Well, that's all I got. Enjoy the page.
All right, we'll start with the hitters.
Terry Carpenter having a day today.
Yeah, he had a home run. Oh,
And he's
Jonathan
got
Cannon was not having a day.
Terry Carpenter's got 3 homers right now.
Does he really?
Yeah.
Holy shit. Who's got him? I think somebody does have him.
Carpenter. Jeez.
Well, why don't I just do this?
Yeah.
Barry
I'm gonna
Carpenter.
guess Norm. Maybe Norm.
Oh, he's on Gambler's
Nope.
Spear.
Gambler Spear.
All right. We'll go with hitters here. Can you see the hitters?
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't know Shohei Ohtani led off.
Oh yeah. That's
I was looking at that. I'm like, he's got 22 fucking home runs and only 37 RBIs. What the fuck is wrong with him? And then I looked and I was like, oh, he's leading off. That's why.
He was on pace over the weekend or whenever it was when they talked about on pace for 171 runs scored.
Yeah, he's got 63 already.
It would be one of the you know top season numbers ever. So
Then you got Devers besides all the bullshit
yeah,
that he's been going through. He's still up there hitting.
still hits. And then he had that terrible start. He was 0 for 19 with 15 strikeouts. I took him in that single league AL Roto. So you know how important that is in that kind of league. I was like, oh my God, what did I do? And then since then, geez, you take those 19 at bats out, what's he hitting? Yeah,
Cubs have three players, like one, two, three.
I'll say
How many players? It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Three of the top 12 players in the league right now, as far as batters, as far as point getters, let's put it that way.
yeah, you got three dads here, right? Just two or three? Wait.
I got one, two, two here.
Pete Crow in Raleigh. I guess that's it. Yeah.
And then I've got Bobby Witt Jr. is just out of the reach. He's like 14. And then I got these guys down here. So out of the top 25, I got five guys out of the top 25 as far as hitters go.
We got a weight guy, right? James Wood. Geez, he's up pretty high, huh?
James
Jeez.
Wood's doing great this year.
I didn't realize he was up that high. Jeez.
He's got 16 home runs. Right now, he is Washington.
about Perdomo in there. Didn't expect that.
Where's Perdomo?
Geraldo Perdomo?
Yeah.
Oh, right here.
They sent Lawler back down, right?
Yeah.
I don't know what they're going to do with him. They've got Ketel Marte at second and Perdomo at short and Eugenio at third.
Well, they need a starting pitcher with Burns out.
Yeah.
Think if I would have kept Rooker instead of dropping him last year, because he got off to one of those B.E.E.R starts.
Well, I did the smart thing and picked him up.
Yeah, you did.
Before he
Then
got
you
real
traded
good.
him.
And then I traded him.
Yeah. Hope you got something good for him.
Probably not.
Okay, let's go to pitchers.
Yeah.
Look at all the wait till next year's.
Three of the top
Five.
five, right?
Four in the top six.
Four in the top six. Yeah, Hunter Brown, Max Fried, Skeens, and Evaldi just went on the IL. That's impressive. Four of the top six in a 13-team league. That's crazy. Bubich. Oh my God. Chris Bubich for Satch.
I did not see that coming at all.
That dude has the highest WAR for a pitcher this year. 3.5.
Been great.
Who does?
Chris Bubik.
Does he? Jeez.
You look at it, he's had 12 games started. He's given up 12 earned runs.
Unbelievable.
For a while, I had
And
Cole Reagan's in there too, and then he pulled a groin.
oh, he does that every night.
Crochet's third. Crochet's.
Yamamoto's doing great for Bake McBride's after being out all last year.
Yeah, Let's Play's got a few, right?
How
We
about
got
Carlos
Framber.
Rodon? Rodon's having a good year.
Yeah, that's a can't say it's the MVP of that team, but geez.
Now, before the season started, I tried to
Missing
trade
Cole and
Paul for Brian Wu. I wish I would have. I wish he would have traded him.
what were you gonna do?
I was trying to trade Paul for Brian Wu.
What were you
That's when I was
offering?
dangling Logan O'Hop and
Oh.
would have added somebody else to that deal, but he did not want to do it.
Yeah,
He thought about it.
Paul sticks to his guns. I, I tried like hell to get it might have been Yasmani Grandal or something. It was a while ago. And of course, Grandal did terrible, but I tried like, a month during the winter to get him. And no, that wasn't going to happen. So,
Let's look at the preseason disappointments. The guys that were ranked high in preseason that are doing terrible. So most of them that were ranked in preseason aren't too bad. You got Hunter Brown, who is currently 3. He was 37 ranked. He's doing much better. Sales a little bit off.
Sale, that seems weird to me.
You got Josh Hader is a little bit off.
Sale is 97th.
Yeah.
Sale had 2 bad games early, and one was in Tampa.
Hmm.
Mason Miller. I don't have the heart to drop him, but he has not performed well in that new stadium. I hope they trade him to somebody.
They might.
You got Dylan Cease over here, who was ranked 42 to start the season, is now at 279.
I have Cease, right? Oh no, I traded him. Okay, yeah.
Yeah,
I was gonna say
you just traded him.
I was gonna say
Emmanuel
that
Class A,
I
he's
think I
not.
think Cease is pitching well. I don't know. I keep two sets of numbers, one actual and one like formula based or whatever, and he was still pitching well this year.
Go back to the batters and see the same thing, preseason to current. Oop. Well, Otani and Judge, those are pretty much whatever. Bobby Witt's down from what they projected. Fernando Tatis is as well. Mookie Betts, that's hurting him as being day to day and hurt. Gunnar Henderson's way down. Look at this one, Ronald Acuna Jr. Of course, he hasn't had that many bats yet, so that doesn't really count. So Gunnar Henderson's like the glaring one here that they expected him to be number 13, and he's 166. Interesting.
I mean, Mookie, I'm not too worried about. He was so sick to start the season. He lost
Yeah.
like 15 pounds, and
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
now he's playing with a broken toe or out with a broken toe, but says he's going to be back this week. He'll hit.
We'll see about that. Very interesting. Where did Lou go? Oh, there he is.
Am I still here? Because I'm trying to pull up that Statcast stuff.
Yep. We can hear you.
Oh, you can't see me?
You look mean.
All right,
You the Statcast. Too many. I guess your internet can't handle all the tables you got up going along with Zoom here.
Or my computer.
That's the other thing. How old is that? How old is the computer?
It's only a few years old, but it was like $250 I spent on it.
Got all the porn viruses. You got those STDs from watching all that porn.
All right. All right. I'm in the StatCast stuff, the expected stats. So I'll share that. We'll just take a look at the lucky in quotations and unlucky in quotations hitters. All right. You see that? So this is comparing their their actual WOBA to their ex WOBA, and then the difference sorted by the difference. And so according to this, Jacob Wilson is the luckiest hitter in baseball with 150 or more balls in play.
Number one, I'm not going to say that's true because the guy damn near hit 400 in the minor leagues before they brought him up last year.
Yeah.
The guy can fucking flat out hit.
He's unlike any player in baseball right now. Doesn't walk, doesn't strike out, just
It's the bat on the ball.
Well, even
I'm not surprised to see him at the top because like obviously he's going to be more impacted by BABIP than others because he's the cycle of things. But
You take a look and see where he's ranked. I don't think he's ranked that high up because I don't think he's getting a lot of. I think he's getting a lot of hits, but I don't think he's getting a lot of like RBIs and shit like that or home runs.
a rise is up here too, and he's always up here. So there's
Yeah.
those kind of hitters that are just so different that they probably get a little shortchanged. Stephen Kwan, I don't know if he's up. Yeah, he's up here. What, number 16?
So Jacob Wilson is currently ranked number 65 in the league for hitters.
Doesn't include the pitchers.
What's that?
Doesn't include.
Yeah, with the hitters and the pitchers. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So 65 overall.
Well, even his expected number, it's lower than what his actual has been, but it's still above average. 312 or so is the average. So he's at 324. So they're saying he's still an average to above average player according to the Statcast numbers, even. But
Yeah.
there's something wrong with their formulation that there's a type of hitter that is constantly up on these lists, like Arise and Quan. But other ones are DJ Friedel and Alex Bregman, who's injured. Aaron Judge, 515 actual, 476 expected. A 476 WOBA is amazing. So, so some of these numbers are just like, I don't know. Maybe you want the guy that's above and his expected is below. That would be more interesting. I don't know. Trey Turner, even he's slightly above. Here's one. Altuve's a little bit above actual and a little bit below expected. Michael Garcia, who's a gag. Even his expected is above average, so he's having a good year. Here's Perdomo, 25-point difference, which isn't the world. He's still expected is still above. Jeremy Pena, Pete Crow's on the list, right? 372 WOBA and a 348 expected. Still, well above average. Old man Carlos Santana's on here. Isaac Paredes. McQuan and Heliot Ramos. But even his expected is above average. So I don't know. It's not. Let's look at the unlucky guys. Juan Soto's number one. This is based on having at least 150 balls in play. Salvador Perez, Yanner Diaz, Brian Reynolds. That's a gag. Rengifo, Adley Rushman, another gag. Semien, another gag. Oh boy. Luis Garcia for the Nats. Joey Ortiz, Yandy Diaz. That's a dad, right?
Yeah, but not Yandy Diaz, not anymore. He somebody stole him from me in the auction this year.
Oh, I thought you had him. Jeez, I can't.
And I'm glad they did because he's only that in 237.
Well, maybe Satch has him. Somebody offered me a choice of him or somebody else. Maybe it was Satch. Whoever had Torkelson, I think maybe he also has Yandy.
Yeah, well, they did me a favor. I'll tell you in a second who's got him.
Might be Satch. Or Chris. Jeez, I don't know. I think it's Satch. Wilson Contreras.
Satch.
Okay, yeah. Michael Harris. So these are the supposedly unlucky guys. Wilson Contreras, Michael Harris, Vlad, Alejandro Kirk, Bo Bichette. You could use a little better luck. Rafaela and Matt Olson. That rounds out the unlucky hitters. Do the same thing for pitchers. Do you ever go to Baseball Savant, Mike?
No, not a ton. I mean, like I've been on the site, but
Yeah, I only go on for the podcast, but I like to look at it, because I don't look at it otherwise. So it's just good to see what they say. Okay, so lucky pitchers. This is ERA compared to expected ERA. So Tyler Malley's at the top of the list by 2 runs difference. 1.64 ERA and 3.81 expected. So big difference there. Davis Martin for the Sox, his expected is 5.77, actual 3.67. So Randy Vasquez, another big difference. Nate Eovaldi for weight. So
What about Cody Senga this year?
1.56, 3.35. Yeah, and I've noticed that just like the contact hitters, the weird contact hitters, it seems like there's always a lot of Japanese pitchers on this part that are considered to be lucky. So there could be something wrong with that model too, right? Because Senga's here, Kikuchi and Sugano are on the top. 14.
You say Kikuchi, I say ya pussy.
And then some of these, Max Fried, if he pitched 200 innings for the Yankees with a 3.62, I mean that would be a good year. Even the expected is still fine. I guess it's just guys like this, like Seth Lugo, who I think is a gag, right? Yeah, a 3.45 actual and a 5.04 expected. So that's something to keep an eye on, right? Eric Fetty, same deal. Andrew Heaney, 3.39 actual, 4.75 expected. Kikuchi, like I mentioned. Chris Bubich, there we go. 1.43 actual and a 2.79 expected. But that 2.79 expected sure sounds good too. So no big risk there.
The White Sox. They got 2 White Sox pitchers on this list.
That's not encouraging. So yeah, Sean Burke 4.2 and a 5.45 expected. Sugano, like we mentioned. David Peterson 2.69 and a 3.88 expected. So Hunter Brown 1.83 and a 2.99 expected, but I don't think you'd cry too much about a 2.99.
Let me ask you this: did the Mets change their pitching coach at all?
They didn't change the coach, but they're definitely doing something on the analytics side because they almost seem like they're a smart pitching team now, and they were never like that before. So yeah, something's changed, but it's not the pitching coach. It's got to be.
But when they brought Clay Holmes in, they did something with his changeup, and I am curious. A lot of these other pitchers who they signed, some who are hurt, like Frankie Montas, are these changeup guys? Is that something that they're attacking? Because they seemed to bid against themselves for Clay Holmes. I don't think he was super in demand as a starter.
Right.
Same thing with Frankie Montas. Same thing. Like I was unimpressed with the pitching staff going into the season.
Yeah, I definitely was, and even the rest of the year, I think it would be safe to say that they're not going to do as well as they have done. But they could also expect maybe, certainly Soto will probably do more. So maybe some of this stuff will balance out on a whole team basis. But yeah, I can't see it keeping up. But I don't know. I mean, maybe they will. I don't know. I mean, even to make Holmes a starter as opposed to a reliever was thinking outside the box, right? I know that the Giants did that with Jordan Hicks. So there's been some other guys that teams have done that with recently, but Reynaldo Lopez when he went to the Braves was a starter.
But Hicks and Lopez are both flamethrowers.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, Holmes has the high ground ball rate. I don't exactly know what it is, but I know that that's his. Because otherwise, it's not. all that impressive. But I think he might be he might be able to keep it up. I'm just worried about some of these guys. I know Senga. It seems like if you altered your approach as a team against Senga, that you would have more success.
I
Like
just wouldn't swing.
yeah, I mean, just don't. Well, last start he was going against the Rockies, and they were ranked third. They're ranked 30th in so many things, but one of them is chase rate. And I was like, oh boy, they're not going to. That's exactly what Senga wants. But if you're a smart team, I don't know if he faced the Yankees or Dodgers. I wonder how well he would do because they're not going to. Don't swing at that fork ball if it's going to end up an inch off the ground. I mean.
He's surprisingly low strikeout too. I mean, he's on. I but last before the Rockies, he was under one strikeout per inning. So not that that's especially low, but
I mean, there's guys that I guess it's what their stuff, right? The Saris stuff plus rating. So there's guys that can get swings, misses, even throwing strikes. But Senga's swinging strikes are probably not in the strike zone. I mean, like, so it just seems like an easy fix if you're going to face him. Like, I don't know, wait till you get a called strike or something. I don't know. Don't swing at that stuff. And then it would be 2-0, and then the night would go from there. No, that's all the specialness I have. I had the ballpark factors, but it's no, it's the same deal except that Sutter Park is like number one hitters park now, like a 116 rating or something, and the new Rays Park, the minor league park, is a 102, so much more modest. I think some.
where's the Great American Ballpark in there?
Yeah, I guess I could pull it up.
They've been giving up a ton of homers there, but I feel like
Twins. That's Target Field. Where's Great American Ballpark? At Cincinnati.
Cincinnati. I read that
Yeah.
they were giving up a ton of homers there, but I don't think that it's necessarily this early in the year translated to a ton of runs.
They call it Great American.
I think that's mostly given up by their bullpen.
Let's see. Oh, look at that. It defaulted to 1 year, just like I want. Okay, good. All right, I'll share this. So this is just this year. I think the general, the consensus is that you probably should use like 3 years of data to do ballpark factors, but we only have this year to go on for the A's park. But it's a 116. Even Coors Field's 109. And so where's Cincy? Yeah, Great American Small Park is right in the middle, 101.
But 100. Okay, so that was 152 homers.
Yeah, so their homer thing, I can't see the homers. Wait, let me.
A lot of triples in Coors Field.
I don't know. So that's really weird. Their overall run environment is about average, but yeah, tons of homers. I'm guessing because it's small that they have a lower BABIP than most
Hmm.
parks. But that's really extreme. I mean, that's why you don't look at just 1 year. I could pull up the 3 year thing because nothing's changed at Great American Ballpark. But yeah, look at this. The pitching side, City Field is 29 out of 30, and they've made a couple of changes to it, and maybe even three since it opened that make it more hitter friendly. But this year it's playing like a real pitcher's park. Look at that, Texas. Texas is the best pitcher park for run prevention.
Is it a pitcher park or is it a great pitching staff?
It's going to compare. It won't matter how good or bad the staff is. It's going to take your runs and your opponent's runs, add them together at home, and then compare them to what you and your opponents did away.
Yeah, well, compare them to what they did away.
So basically, like the combined score of your home games compared to the combined score of your away games.
Hmm.
So the opponents are all the same, pitchers and hitters are all the same. So you're comparing your bad pitchers to your bad pitchers, home and away, and your bad hitters to your bad hitters. So and your opponents, the same thing. But
We
yeah,
pull up the 3 year.
what
I
is it?
am curious.
Yeah, I'm gonna put 2 year. So yeah, Seattle this year is crazy. It's 17th. It's like it's almost an average park. So that's that's not going to continue because I don't think they made any changes unless I didn't hear something. But when they look at 3 years, you'll see Coors will be on top and Seattle will be on the bottom. So Coors is 111 going back. It's actually 2 years plus this year, so 2 and a third years. Chase Field in Arizona is second. Dodger Stadium third. That seems weird. And then yeah, Seattle is 30th. Wrigley next to
Who would
last.
have thunk that, huh?
That's crazy. Did they change something at Wrigley in the past few years? I know.
Not since the scoreboards went in. And with those scoreboards going in, well, it more impacts the wind blowing in.
The other thing too is that park is different than any other park, seeing that they get the cutouts in the corners, where it's like a little farther to hit it out down the line than you have at any other park.
Yeah, that's why Paredes had to get the hell out of there. That was like that was like his bread and butter,
Yeah.
hitting homers down the line. And I was like, oh my God, that's a terrible place for him to go when he went there.
I think we looked at a stat on him last year when he got traded. It showed where all of his home runs
Yeah.
went, and it was all the left field.
Well, they showed like they had his spray chart with his homers last year and how many more he would have hit in Houston. So he was
I
a
also wonder, like, this is completely anecdotal, but I don't remember the past couple summers in Chicago being horribly hot and humid. And we know that park plays small in the summer, big in the spring and fall. And between the weather not being as hot and humid, and or if they just had some more games early or late in the year based on the schedule, I wonder how much that would impact it for Wrigley.
yeah, like this weather in the Northeast at least. I'm sure it's been similar to Chicago, but we have not gotten warm yet. It's crazy. We had our heat on last week. Even last night, I didn't want to put the heat on again, so we just had a space heater by us when we were watching TV. It's like, and it was June 1st. But I bet you that's why City Field is ranked 29th just based on this year's stats. When based on 2+ years, they're 17th. So that seems more like City Field, ranked up in this area. But I bet you that has something to do with it, right? Because usually by May you've got a couple of scorching days already, and even April you can get a 85-degree day, but we haven't had that. We're gonna get it now. Are you guys hot yet? Because we're supposed to get hot.
We're just getting there today. About 80 today.
Yeah,
So they changed the name to the Astros Park to Dakin Park.
yeah.
When the Minute Maid contract must have ran out, huh?
It's actually full name is Ruth Dakin Bailey Park, but you'd have to be an It's a Wonderful Life fan to get that one, I guess. So forget it. But that's interesting. I didn't look at that. Just looking at home runs, I can't really explain. Let's see what the ballpark is here. So yeah, it's a 123 the past 2+ years, but only a 103 park factor. So look at that. They have barely over half as many triples as the normal park. So that's some of it. Doubles is normal. Singles is a little down. It's a little strange. With a 123 home run, you'd figure that this number would be higher than 103. But look at Dodger Stadium, 132 home run factor, only a 103 runs. But those parks have the same thing in common. They have way fewer triples than the normal park. But there's not many triples to be had anyway, so I don't know. It doesn't explain everything. Hmm.
Wow.
So,
Well,
Mike,
we've
what's
seen a
the
lot of hitters coming up out of the minors this year, but we haven't seen a whole lot of pitchers yet. The only time we ever see the pitchers coming up from the minors is if there's like a double header or some shit.
Royals brought that guy, Noah Cameron? Is that his name? And he's done well. He's had like, I don't know, 5 starts.
Cubs brought up Cade Horton. That's one of the few that I've seen. And, I mean, as far as hitters coming up and making their first appearance in the big leagues, I think it's 2-1 or 3-1 to pitchers.
Yeah, it seems like.
I don't know if the top prospect lists have a ton of pitchers on it right now, or at least high level pitchers.
Let's go take a look at it.
I think a lot of them are still lower level.
So when Imanaga comes back, who do you think goes down for the Cubs? I mean, I guess you would think it would be Horton because he was the last one up, but maybe Ben Brown?
It's a possibility. Could be Ben Brown after this last. Colin Ray might be the one, after his last outing because he got lit the fuck up.
Not Brown.
I don't think they want to send. I don't think they want to do that to Brown's confidence. I know it probably won't be Cade Horton, but I can see Ray going down, not going down so much as going to the bullpen.
Yeah.
I could see Brown going to the bullpen too. The
What's
stuff
that?
is so I could see Brown going to the bullpen too. The stuff he started the year there a little bit. The stuff's really good.
He is one of the StatCast guys that was considered unlucky for what it's
And
worth.
the fastball curveball are great.
I have Brown in the mixed league. He's not doing me any favors, but I haven't dropped him.
So you got Bubba Chandler up there. He's somebody the Pirates should be bringing up, but they haven't.
Andrew
Look at
Painter.
this. Leo DeFreeze for the Padres. 18-year-old for the Padres is number 3 overall now.
Shortstop?
Yeah. I think they've actually taken most of the MLB guys they take out of here after a certain time. But
They were talking about a Dodgers prospect who's way down. He's in like single A. He's an outfield prospect. And he couldn't
Dalton Rushing?
no. Way lower than this. He couldn't crack the high A roster because they had 3 highly touted prospects in the outfield in that roster. One of them, I recognize one name, is that Joshua something or other. Somebody in the beer league has him on their NA.
Well, this is him right here. You see?
Oh, yeah. So somebody, I think maybe Norm or somebody has DePaula.
Is that your hope?
Zaire Hope was another one I think they were talking about. But this guy that
Alex Freeland is a third baseman shortstop. Jackson Ferris pitcher.
But it's just scary because the Dodgers, I mean, they can spend money and waste money. I mean, it's not even well spent sometimes, but they just have such a deep system. And it's not like it's top heavy. It's like there's guys just in single A right now. Like they're just always going to be good. I don't see any way around it.
This is the guy right here that I'm waiting for, Chase Burns. He's actually pitching very well this year. If I bring up his stats, he's got a 1.93 ERA, and he's already up in Double A. He's 5-1 in Double A. He's got a 1.54 ERA.
In Chattanooga,
it's fucking ridiculous. So I don't see why, with what the Reds have been doing, why the fuck haven't you brought him up yet?
their starters have done okay though, right? Andrew Abbott, Lodolo, is he hurt now?
Well, let's take a look.
Green, Brady,
Lodolo's back.
Nick Martinez. I guess Martinez hasn't done great, but
That's the nicest thing anyone's ever said about Nick Martinez.
what? It hasn't done
He hasn't done great.
I don't see. Like I'm like, I guess I'm just a softie because I look at all these teams. I look at the Reds roster and I go like, yeah, they've got a lot. You know, it's a good team. You know, so I don't know. I can't think of a team. I guess where I would just go like, ooh, that's bad.
And if you looked at the Pirates roster,
Yeah, well, the Pirates, yeah, they're short.
All right.
That's like inexcusable, right? I mean, they could have just added even just one hitter would have made a big difference. I mean, when you're
that
putting on McCutchen and Pham,
I mean, that infield is.
well, they started hurt, right? There's one guy that's been hurt, right?
Well, if he is, he's not hurt on here. Well, they got
Horwitz just came back, but they got
Brett
a second
Lauder was the
baseman.
one that went down. But dude, I mean, look at this shit. Current, if we look at current, yeah, Nick Lodolo, Martinez doing okay. Hunter Green's pretty good. Abbott's not bad. Singer, I don't know. I apparently one of these guys goes down. They're gonna bring him up, but
Well,
Graham Ashcraft has been garbage.
he'll get hurt, I'm sure, right? So
Well, Graham Ashcraft has been actually in a bullpen most of the time. None of them blow my doors off. You know, it's just Hunter Green's probably the best one out of all three of these guys besides Lodolo. But I mean, this guy looks like he's going to be a future star.
just got to stay healthy. That's all.
Yeah.
Worry about those guys that throw so hard, you know. But I don't know. I guess you can wreck your arm in other ways too. You could be a spinner,
Right.
hook yourself up too.
But, you know, Andrew Abbott hasn't had many starts, 9 games started, but he's got 5 wins, which is kind of nice.
Yeah, I'd be a yes man in any of the front offices. I'd go like, no, I think it's good. I think that the roster looks good.
What they should do is bring up Burns and put Nick Martinez in the bullpen because their bullpen has been kind of crappy.
Yeah.
I mean, you look, these are all the starters here, and we're going in order current. Look at all the relievers. Just a mishmash of who's what. No, anyway.
Yeah, Pirates, I guess, isn't too good.
Well, there's one thing I know is Mike Lance who knows pitching.
Or got very lucky with some of the pitching.
It happens. It happens. But we all know in this league, it takes a balanced lineup. You just can't have one or the other. You know, you got to have it all.
I'm trying.
Yeah, most of the points come from hitting. We're trying to get that into a better balance this year, but it's been like 60-40. It's been worse than 60-40, but now it should be closer to that. How's your Lemmings League going? Is that what it's called?
Yeah, I'm near sitting in like 3rd or 4th or something. Upper middle of the pack, you know.
So that one you retroactively say what your lineup was? Is that what it is?
Yeah, it's the lazy league.
Yeah, well, that's kind of nice. I mean, like,
I wouldn't be able to do 2 leagues like this.
What you do is you pick your guys and you get on a calculator.
No, it does it for you.
See, even that.
oh, you mean you don't even have to specify? It just does it picks.
Oh no, you have to go through and like specify it, but the point totals are there for you.
Yeah.
So
And
it's
then
really
the guys
more
you're
about
putting into your lineup are set for the whole week, right?
essentially.
What do they run that on? Is that custom or is that on a?
Custom.
It's custom. So
Yeah.
you get like a good software person in the league or something.
Well, it's on a site, but I think the formula is custom. Oh, I'm just hitting buttons here. So it's a fun league because it's more about drafting and trading than your like day-to-day research.
Right, right.
Where I this is enough day-to-day research for me.
The beer league is exhausting. Not a day like today where you're just going to put up your guys in the starting lineup. Like, on the normal day, like the full days, when, especially the weekends when the games can be anywhere from noon to, 10 at night or whatever, and I mean, 10 at night here. But
I struggle on the Wednesday, Thursday games. I always forget there's like some 11:30 start.
oh, I hate those. Yeah. It seems like it always hits me in like the first inning, and I go there and it's just like I just missed it by a few minutes. It's like I can't remember. I'm sure it's happened, but I can't remember a time when it was like, oh my god, I made it with only on 5 minutes to spare. It always seems like the opposite. It's like I look at the clock and go like, oh, maybe I should check. Maybe a game started, and it's like, ah, shit. But I think it's like that for everybody. I was looking at it to see if there was an app that would send like an alarm to my phone whenever a major league game was going to start. Give me like 15 minutes or something like that. And I thought there was one because there was something called Fantasy Alarm. But the more I was reading it, I was like, I don't think this is what I don't want any analysis. I just want my phone to like beep, and then I'll know what that means. Like that's what I need. I don't need any analysis or anything. Just like who to start. No, I just want to know when there's games starting because I'm gonna screw it up. So I'm finally learning to like take my California players from the primary positions and put them into the more general positions. And then the guys who I know are starting, push those up to the primaries. And then I, have more options to replace the late guys if they're not playing. But generally, I'll leave like good players up as long as that Roto Grinders says that they're going to start, especially if the lineup's been released. But even that, I just this past weekend I had experienced something where the guy didn't play. I don't know if it was like a late, last minute thing, like, oh man, I got this stomach bug, but that sucks.
There have been some late scratches this year.
Yeah, I had Semyon on my bench yesterday. He had 9 points. I didn't even figure out if that affected me. I don't think it affected my win loss. As long as it doesn't affect my wins and losses, I don't care. But it's really painful when like you didn't put up your catcher and you got 7 points, and then you're like 3 points away from an extra win or something. That sucks.
Simeon's been awful. It's good to see him starting to hit.
Yeah, I don't think he's been. I haven't lost faith in him. I mean, he was never. His thing was never, points per plate appearance or anything like that. He was just playing all the time. Like kind of like what Alonso has done before this year, anyway. Just playing a lot, and that goes a long way. So, but yeah, he's definitely on the downside of his career. I think that's pretty safe to say. But I don't think he's this bad. But we'll see. And actually, lately he's been, having some good games. So
it would be hard to be that bad.
Yeah. It's funny. I don't even notice when a player like that is not doing well. I don't even notice it really because like I'm always concentrating on the bottom of my roster. So if he was like my fourth middle infield, then I would have been a lot more in tune, to it and probably would have dropped him or something like that. But those guys like the Rushman and Smith, whether or not they're doing that well, I think Smith's doing fine and Rushman's not doing that great. I'm not going to drop them. So I don't even really follow them that much. It's like, it's all like the parts of your roster that you're constantly churning, like, oh, maybe this guy will be the answer. And you're like, nope. All right. How about this guy?
Oh, I want to play a quick I got a guy?
Yeah.
All right, I got a guy.
All right, Mike, you go first.
20 questions. Narrow it down, guess the player.
No dares. Has to be questions.
Um, Most of his career, National League or American League.
Most of his career. Shit, hold on a second. My screen is not scrolling. And
Ooh, this is up in the air.
second. I would have to say most, okay, it was all American League.
Oh, he's throwing us up. Hitter or pitcher?
He's a hitter.
AL hitter.
He's a hitter. Yeah, hitter. Lefty or righty?
He is a left-handed hitter.
Infield, outfield.
A little bit of both. But let me see. I think most of it was on the infield.
Left-handed American League hitter who played mostly in the infield. Um, I don't remember how we do divisions. Can you say what division, or do I have to guess a division?
You can say
Uh, you got to guess which division.
Was he AL West?
That would be a no.
Is he AL Central?
Well, no.
All right. I think that might mean that it's pre AL Central, that he's in the AL East. Might mean that. But I didn't read Jeff right the first time, so I don't know.
Did he play most of his career in the 80s?
A little over half. That is question number 6.
Oh boy. I'm guessing he's a first baseman and a corner outfielder. So what else would be helpful? Um, he's AL East. Did we already say that? What did you ask? No, you asked 80s. Oh, did he win a World Series?
Oh,
Was he a New York Yankee?
yes. 2.
Yeah. Jeez.
1980s left-handed hitting New York Yankee. Played mostly infield.
He's probably a first base corner outfield, right? And I mean, if you did any outfield, which you did. And I'm thinking he's 90s, 80s, not 70s, 80s, but should I ask that?
Yeah.
90s, 80s.
All right, we'll count that as
That's
mine.
that's that's number 9.
Hmm. Not so confident. Did he play most of his games at third base?
No. That is question 10.
Uh, see, an all-star.
He was a six-time All-Star.
And I'm going to follow this up then. Did he play most of his games at first base?
Yes,
Okay,
that is
so who you're
12.
six-time All-Star first baseman, lefty,
Can't think.
no World Series, mostly with the Yankees.
Who played first for the Yanks in the late '80s after Mattingly? Oh, Sam. Is his last name A through L or M through Z?
M through Z, 13.
Oh, what's that guy's name? Probably burning a question here. Does this last name start with a T?
No.
I'm just drawing a blank. Like who played first for the Yankees after who succeeded Mattingly?
What years did he play?
What
What years did he play?
did who Mattingly?
Yeah.
Well, he was done by the late '80s, right? What is it, Mattingly?
Yeah, it fucking is. You know, here's the fucking thing. The motherfucker. I'll share the screen here real quick.
But
He
he's
played
not.
all the way up to 95. Started in 82. Here's a very glaring thing right here, though. Look, his batting average in 86 was 352, yet he didn't win the batting title that year. And that was the highest he ever batted. Isn't that crazy?
I can't believe Mattingly played until 95.
Yeah, he wasn't playing very good back then. I mean, he actually still was pretty good. I mean, he never really, the one year he sucked was 90. That's where he only hit 256, but most people would die to fucking hit that. But he was the MVP, six-time All-Star, nine-time Gold Glover, three-time Silver Slugger, won a batting title, Major League Player of the Year. He was a Manager of the Year one time.
There was a Yankees documentary. Maybe it was Jeter. I don't know. And I should have known that because Mattingly got out right when they were getting good, right? So I should have known that he played that late.
The only problem was from time to time he got hurt. He got 102 games played in 90, 97, 94. I think his body just gave out on him.
He
He
had a
should have
bad
been a
back.
guy
He had a
who
bad
played for
back.
20 years.
Yeah,
If he would have played for 20 years, he would have had 3,000 hits.
he would have been in the Hall of Fame if he had a normal back.
Yeah. And it just turns out that, he's now in the Hall of Very Good. I mean, he's got a career OPS of 830. His all-time WAR is 42. But for what he's done, hell, if you give the Hall to Harold Baines, you got to give it to Don Mattingly.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. Baines thing is just. I wish it had never happened because it's just like I'm so tired of like hearing that. I mean, obviously, there's a ton of guys that could be in the Hall of Fame if Harold Baines is in the Hall of Fame.
Right.
Keith Randa.
Now I got to go find out
Everybody
who
should be.
won. Who was an 86 Who was the batting champ in '86? So that's
Boggs?
what I got to go find out now.
Wasn't it Boggs?
I don't know. Peters batting average, single season, uh, 1986. Wade Boggs, you're right. And he beat him by just a little bit. 356.9 or 356.9. And what did Mattingly get?
352?
352, yeah. Unfucking real. But look at his OPS that season was 967, put up 31 home runs. He only hit 222 for his career, but most of it came in the meat of his career.
Who was third in average that year?
He was third in average.
No, no. Who was? I'm just curious what the gap is there.
Good question. 1986. It was a good year.
That's back when the league ERAs would be under 4, like what 3.8 or something like that. So that 967 OPS was even a little more impressive.
Season 1986. Fucking. I can't click on the year, so that's not going to help me find it this way.
Too late for Brett, I
Is
guess.
that?
Yeah.
I'm just wondering if it was like a two-man race in the final weeks, and they were just running away with it at whatever it was at 356 and 352.
Yeah, Tim Raines won for the National League that year at 334. I don't know how to find it, to be honest with you.
So, Mike, you got any? What's different this year than last year? Just another year, just another year under your belt.
Experience.
I mean,
Like,
a
what's
little bit of experience and understanding how to attack like the weekends, when to use your moves, when not to, when to take those risks. But there's such a huge disadvantage in being year one.
yeah, like no
I
man.
mean, and I sold out last year and then traded guys away for prospects, right? Like that's how I have James Wood. That's how I have a
Yeah,
couple
yeah,
of
yeah.
these other guys.
That's
Is like,
perfect. Then we're use that in your sales pitch to, to the team this year. Go like, hey, look, I was in your shoes last year, and I got James Wood.
Well, that's how I got Jackson Cheerio. But a lot of my guys, I mean, I got Soto in the auction years ago, back before he was like that. He had some down years in the first couple of years. It was good, but then he kind of regressed a little bit for a year or two, and then I picked him up, and then he turned into fucking the bee's knees. But like Witt was one of those guys I had as an NA guy. So was Crow Armstrong. I think what it basically boils down to is just there's all kinds of ways to set your team up. It just depends if you get the right guys. You know, Having the right NA guys, that's huge because those guys come up and they help right away. It's great. You didn't have to go searching on the waiver wire, especially with 13 teams like this, and the waiver wire is pretty lean. When you get a good rookie coming up and he starts to produce right away, kind of like what Ellie De La Cruz did when he came up, um, pretty good shit. Patience, though, that's the hardest part.
I thought the waiting was the hardest
So says Tom Petty.
No, but was there anything specifically like last year? Because I joined a league last year for the first time. I was wondering if there was anything like during the year that you said like, okay, all right, next year I'm going to do this instead. Right? Was there anything like that, or just?
I'm not going to use all my innings.
Um, it didn't actually impact my because of who I protected this year, but catchers. Like going into this season this year, making sure I had two everyday starters, not platoon guys, and work from there. Where I think last year I went into it with one everyday starter and then a timeshare, and that quickly became a problem. And not that I plan on. It seems like most people don't use all their catcher innings anyway, but
Right.
having two in this league, I mean,
Really
it's
hard to get all the catcher games in.
right. It's hard enough to use them when you
Except for
have two catchers
Paul.
who are going to
Paul
play
Paul's
100.
amazing. But
Well,
there's another way. I mean, like I do what? I take two high price catchers and my production's not stellar anyway. And there's another way. I think everybody should get one good catcher. I think everybody should have one. But you could have the timeshare, that second guy. Like that's your churn guy, and you would max your games at catcher and you'd probably do all right if you can pick and choose your spots with that second catcher each time. Maybe you even keep the catcher for a little while, a few games or whatever. You go into Colorado or something. So I mean, I
It
don't
was
like I don't personally like to stream like that, but I understand the logic of it. That could make a lot of sense. You know,
it was tougher than I expected last year streaming the catchers because a lot of those platoon guys are just not very good, and you're
no.
making those moves and taking a lot of zeros, or they're hitting down way down in the order, and they're only getting three at bats.
Hey,
They're
guess
getting
what? If you don't put a catcher in there that plays, you're going to get a zero anyway.
well,
So if they get you 1 point, it's more than what you were going to get.
sure, but it's nice to go in knowing that you've got two who are hopefully going to play 120 games and not hit ninth every day.
but if
Yeah.
you've got a few guys streaming catchers, like I know Paul must, I imagine Phil does. I don't know for sure, but if you had a league of like 12 other guys like me, you could probably do that. What you did last year, a lot easier, right? You're not competing with anybody to pick up the daily catcher.
Right.
So
As
those
it stands, I mean, if there's two catchers, I mean, that's 26 catchers. That's you got 4 or 5 starters, or so five. How many teams are in the National League?
30
30. Get brain fart.
guys that take three
You still
catchers
got
like
five
me.
guys that you know, or four guys that actually start. But I'm sure those four guys have been picked up as a third catcher somewhere as well, because I've got one. I've got a third guy.
Well, and also the waiver wire time in this league is pretty long from a
It is.
drop to a pickup. And so when you have multiple teams streaming catchers, and I noticed it with pitchers too. Like there are guys I want, but like they're going to still be on waivers for their start. And
Yeah.
so when
I
you
would,
have
you
eight
know, I
catchers
would
on
like to,
waivers,
I'd like to propose switching the waiver time to 3 days.
Yeah, that's what it is now.
Is it?
It used to be 4. I liked it nice and long because out of laziness, I wanted to, like, if there was a long weekend, you could check your roster, you could check the drops on Friday, and then you wouldn't have to check them again until Tuesday. You wouldn't have any risk of losing out on a player. But I think it was you that proposed changing it to 3 days, and we did. And I think a lot of people liked it because if you start a pitcher and then he pitches Monday night and then you drop him Tuesday morning, he'll be available to pick up on waivers before his next start with a three
Yeah.
with a 3 day waiver period. But I know a lot
Well,
of
with
leagues.
adding the extra team and having less players out there worth the shit, it might be best to put it down to 2 now.
Yeah, I mean a lot of leagues have it at 2, but that would mean my lazy dream of not having to worry about oh my god, I didn't know they dropped Aaron Judge. Like I didn't check. So, yeah, too bad. I don't know, but 2 days is pretty. That means you're checking on Friday, and you better check again on Sunday because you could lose a guy Sunday night, right? That's what it would be, right?
Yeah.
I think so.
Interesting.
But yeah, if most people want to do it that way, then propose it and we'll vote. You know, I won't vote, even though I would like to keep it where it is, but I understand that two could work. I mean, that's the default in Yahoo is a 2 day waiver period. You know,
But the other thing too is the moves, the maximum move limit will kind of keep people in check from just constantly turning and burning, even with a 2 day. It's just going to make it, it's just going to give everybody the opportunity to field their teams a little easier. That's all.
yeah, that
And
max.
right now we're in a situation where there's a lot of players already taken and there isn't much out there. So the guys that are constantly getting picked up and dropped and stuff like that, most of the time they're sitting out there on waivers the whole time, because somebody picks them up for a game, drops them back down, then they sit on waivers for 3, 4 days, and then somebody else picks them back up or takes them off of waivers, then they drop them and sits there for waivers for.
That max
So
resets a week from Saturday. You know, so I was looking at it today, and Satch, I think Satch has 20, 125 moves, maybe more. I don't know, but I remember thinking like, okay, so he's got 23 moves in the next, 12 days. So I was like, oh, he can probably do it. But I was thinking about him today when I picked up like three guys that are on the IL that when they get activated, I'll probably just drop them anyway. But I had the spots and I figured, what the hell? And I
yeah,
thought about Phil. I was like, well, Phil's not going to do that. I thought about that scene in Three Amigos where Steve Martin, goes to drink his canteen, and it's just like he gets like a face full of dust, something like that. Or Martin Short does it, and it's like one drop comes out, and then Chevy Chase takes his, and he's got it's all this water. He's like swishing in his mouth, spitting it out, all this stuff, and then he throws the canteen on the desert
yeah,
ground, and like there's like water like pouring out of it, and then Steve Martin and Martin Short are both looking at him like with their dust face, and they're you know I don't know. They set the scene up with the desert sun is like shining on it. So I
yeah, yeah.
actually like that movie. It got like 1 star or whatever.
The movie I'm looking forward to is the new Police Squad with Liam Neeson. That's pretty good. Well, gentlemen, we're almost at 2 hours here. I gotta cut it myself.
All right.
All right, Mike.
But
Thanks for coming on with us, and I hope you can be the second league member to go worst to first. Chris Larkin did it 2005 to 2006.
I hope so
Well,
too.
he almost did it last
congratulations
year.
on the 6-0.
Chris
Yeah,
went worst. He went last to second last year, so he almost did it last year for the second time, and nobody else has done it. Well, no, Daniel. No, yeah, yeah, no. Nobody else has done worst to first.
Well, I got to tell you though, the way this season's been going as far as these beer podcasts, um, usually the guy we're having on that week ends up with a 6-0, and then afterwards he starts to suck. So there's that part of it too. So be careful.
all right. So if I go 0-6, then I'll come back on and make a guest appearance next Monday.
No, we got somebody else on that one. We'll let you wait it out for a little while. All
All right. Have a good night.
All right, thanks
right,
for coming
guys.
on, Mike.
Take care, man.
Bye.
Good luck. See you guys.
Hmm.
Oh, all right. Well, I'm gonna hit it.
All right, well, tell Elizabeth I said hi.
I will. I will. She's in the other room watching one of her shows called Sirens or some shit.
Sirens. It's like an ER show, or is it like women sirens?
I think it's women. It's like two
Double
sisters or
entendre.
something. One's a rich chick. This is what she was explaining to me. One's some rich lady, and the other sister is taking care of her sickly father. And I guess it's just a little, how do I get my rich sister to come here and help me type thing. So I don't know. I'm not gonna watch it. Not really what it's not, I don't gravitate to that type of shit.
You're going to get all caught up in the story. Watch. You'll be talking all about it next week.
I'll tell you what, I'll get caught up in a whole lot when I get my back surgery. All I'm gonna be able to do is watch TV for the most part.
No exact date yet, just sometime late August.
Yeah, it's like 3 weeks. I'm seeing the surgeon on the 24th, and then I have to see the surgeon on the 24th. Then I have to the nurse practitioner was telling me he's like 6 weeks out on surgeries once he sees you. He's backed up. So who knows? He might be backed up 8 fucking weeks by the time I see him. So this could happen in September, but all I know is it's gonna lay me out probably worse than any other back surgery I've had.
You've had two?
Yeah. The first one was from a ruptured disc. The second one was a bulging disc, so I got a laminectomy on that one. But we're talking fusion here. This is some bad shit.
Yeah.
So I'm just hoping.
I think I told you last time I had back trouble right before Christmas. I asked my chiropractor, he's like, how come it's never been recommended that I have like surgery? He said, because you always get better, you bounce back. I was like, oh, you mean like people feel like this all the time? I was like, I wouldn't stay around. Let's put it that way.
Let's put it this way. Sometimes when I'm just standing there, it feels like my foot goes in a bucket of cold water. And then when I'm walking, I can walk about maybe a half a block, and then all of a sudden all the energy in my legs are gone. And I start to like just slew foot it. I can't really do much. It's just like walking through 2 feet of snow.
Yeah.
So when it's like that, you have to get it fixed. It's not going to fix itself. There's too much damage at that point. So it is what it is.
Yeah. All right, brother.
Oh, this beer league, we're all a bunch of fucking fuckers that are just falling apart.
No, we're getting up there. There's
That's
some
for
guys
sure.
there's some guys in the league that are they're 60 now. Can you believe that shit? Come on. That's nuts.
I think you're the only one, right?
I think so.
We're right behind you, every one of us. So
I used to not even that long ago. I used to worry about like getting carded at the liquor store. Now I'm 60. Forget it. Come on. What happened?
now they just look at you and put in a fake birth date on the scanner or whatever. It's like, yeah, he's ringing me. All right, Lou. Well, you have yourself a great week, and may the gods of minus 24 to 26 point losses by your pitcher go away from you for a while. You've already gotten a few too many.
Bad stuff. Yeah,
I think we were watching on Monday of last week. That's when you got boned, didn't you?
No, it's how. Yeah, and then Sunday I got fought.
Yeah.
I got foughted.
He fought it all over you.
Hey, we're eighth and ninth, man. So we got some pride bet there.
Yeah. But it is true. Once somebody comes on the show, it's like the week they're supposed to come on the show, they usually go like 6-0. And then as soon as they're off the show, that's when they start to shit the bed. Look what Bizzotti's been doing all year, and next thing you know, he goes into 3-3 and then 1-5. And then we had Chris on, he was fucking lighting it up, and then all of a sudden he started falling back after he was on.
Like the SI cover curse or the
this keeps happening.
Madden football curse or something, right?
Yeah, it's crazy.
All right.
All
Next
right, buddy.
See you.